lovely people. My name is Roel. I am a health and nutrition coach and a diabetes practitioner near Manchester in the UK. And I post these videos to help you to stay motivated to be as healthy as you can be. And today I want to talk about something that is probably affecting all of us, whether we realize it or not. And it is how complicated and overwhelming our modern lives have become, and what impact that has on our mental health and our physical health. Our bodies and brains were never designed to take in the constant stream of information, choices, and noise that we're surrounded with all the time, every day. And this overload doesn't just affect your mental well-being, but it actually also impacts on your physical health. The good news is, by simplifying our lives, even in small ways, we can actually make a difference in how we feel, how we think, and that will have an impact on our behavior. So that can have an impact on how your body functions. So firstly, of course, I'm not suggesting that you have to live like a hunter-gatherer to do this. They, of course, lived the best life for our biology, but I understand that we live in a modern world now. We can't completely go back to that, but I think we can still honour principles of that ancestral lifestyle, and I think they will serve us. I'll be sharing some practical modern tips across the 4 key lifestyle factors in our lives. So that is your diet, your physical activity, your stress management, and your sleep. Now, why is our life now feeling so overwhelming? Think about it. Like I said, our ancestors had far fewer choices and far less input. They didn't wake up with dozens of notifications on their phones, endless food delivery apps, hundreds of healthy diet options. They simply ate the food that they could find that was available to them, real unprocessed food that was good for them. They went to bed when it got dark. They couldn't stay up and watch stuff on their iPads or television or on their phones. And they woke up when the sun rose. Their social world was also less frantic. It was more family, close community, and not thousands of strangers online as we have now. In many ways, life was simpler for them, and that simplicity supported their health and their biology. Today, we have so many options, and ironically, most of them are not that great for us, for our health. But if we can learn to cut through the noise and make life a bit simpler for ourselves, then I think our bodies and minds will thank us for it. So, when it comes to the diet then, maybe simplify what's on your plate. Food is one of the biggest sources of overwhelm, and if you just think about what a food shop would look like and I don't mean a food shop as in a shop that you do, but an actual physical shop that you would go into, 50 years ago, 70 years ago, how many products would there be on offer? Far fewer than now. It just the choices increase, it seems, year after year. So go back to basics and base your meals around whole foods, real foods, meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds. And that will make it far easier. And then you limit your options, and therefore you're much more likely to make better choices, because the options that are left available to you are healthy options, and then you don't overwhelm yourself with, oh, what can I have? If you definitely limit your processed foods, because that's where most of the new options have come from, is just processed food. So you don't need 20 different snacks in your cupboard. You just think of a few healthy snack options and have that available to you, just a few nourishing go-to snacks. Why not make meals repetitive where possible? It doesn't mean boring. It just means finding a handful of healthy breakfast, lunches, and dinners that work for you, that you enjoy, and that fit into your lifestyle, and then rotate them. It really frees up headspace and makes it much easier to stick with healthy eating. Interestingly, I think in my work as a diabetes practitioner on a diabetes remission program, I find that when people go on a diet replacement, so total diet replacement means that they go on soups and shakes for a period of time. In the program that I work on, they do that for 12 weeks. And what I find interesting is that many of them report that when they go back to eating real food, because obviously you shouldn't do that for too long, they actually nearly miss being on the soups and the shakes, because they find it somehow easier to stick with a very strict regime of you can only have this or that, and they just do it. But as soon as they have more option, they find it more difficult to just stick with the healthy ones. Shopping the outer aisles of the supermarket, that can really help as well. So what I mean by that is the aisles where, actually now I'm thinking about it, one of the outer aisles is the alcohol, is the alcohol aisle here in the UK. So what I mean is just avoid the aisles in a supermarket where you find all those super processed foods, so you don't get tempted by it. When it comes to physical activity, you can also keep it simple and natural. It's another area where people can get really overwhelmed. There's so many things that you can do. You can go to a gym, you can do classes, apps, machine home workouts. It's endless, but our bodies don't need complicated workouts. They just need movement. And you can prioritize walking. It's one of the best things you can do. Aim to walk daily, whether it's a morning stroll or a short walk after a meal. That's really helpful for your blood glucose management, or in the evening to wind down. And definitely now in the summer months, my husband and I always go for a walk after our evening meal. Use your body weight, squats, press-ups or push-ups, as you may call them, simply standing up, sitting down. You don't need fancy equipment. You can do all the stuff with your own body, with your body weight. And maybe find active habits like, activities in your daily lives, like walking the stairs, walking up the hill, carry your shopping, gardening, housework. These are great ways to be physically active. And sometimes we overthink it and we think that we have to do certain things like going to the gym or classes. But if you're being very active in your daily life, you could end up doing more than somebody who hangs out in the gym for 45 minutes in the morning and then sits on their backside the rest of the day. So just keep it simple, because then you're more likely to do it. If you make it difficult, then you may end up not doing it at all. When it comes to sleep, try to return to natural rhythms. Sleep has become complicated too, because we now have so many distractions in the evening, which our ancestors didn't have because they didn't have light, so artificial light. If it got dark, they had to go to sleep. But light from your phones and your televisions and your devices, the blue light, tricks your brain to thinking that it's still daytime, and it affects the quality of your sleep. Even if you can still sleep after looking at screens, it will affect the quality of your sleep. So it's best to not expose yourself to that a couple of hours before you go to bed. And try switching off and find an evening routine that doesn't involve screens. And then often what you look at on these screens is not really helping either with going to sleep. Often if you go on social media or watch the news and things like that, that hardly ever makes you have a better sleep. Keep a routine. A consistent routine is really helpful when it comes to sleep. Go to bed and wake up at similar times, even on the weekend. That can really help to improve your sleep quality. Make your bedroom a calm space, a space where you want to be, where you feel good. Make it cool, dark and quiet. These are important things when it comes to having good quality sleep. Try to avoid clutter, televisions, and just make it a space where you can feel relaxed and have a good night's sleep. Make sure your bed is a bed. I know it sounds obvious, but have a nice bed with nice pillows and nice bedding. I know it's a bit of a boring expense, but it can really make a difference. Get morning light exposure. When you wake up in the morning, try to go outside to get some daylight immediately. That will help to reset your body clock. Simplifying your evenings and creating a calming ritual before bed. Same stuff every night can really get your body into that a bit of a rhythm where it recognizes, all right, this is now bedtime, winding down, and your body will then produce the hormones that you need to get a good night's sleep. Stress management. Create breathing space. We're bombarded with news, information, notifications, constant demands for attention, and our ancestors didn't face that at all. They didn't need to know everything that was going on in the world. They had stress, but it was more short stress, high, very intense stress, but it tended to be short. And now we constantly have to deal with information about everything that's going on in the world, and most of that stuff we're not in control of, but we're still going to stress about it. And our stress is chronic these days, and simplifying in this way, in this area, means to reduce that input and create moments of calm. So be a little bit more selective of what kind of information you're exposing yourself to. So have a look at your news intake and your social media intake. You don't need to know everything that's happening in the world all the time. Practice mindfulness, deep breathing. Just a few minutes a day can really make a difference and reset your nervous system. Spend time in nature. Reconnect with nature. Even just a short walk in the park, really noticing things. Now there's a bit of a change in season. I feel that we're really starting to see some signs of autumn, including a massive tarantula on the stairs to the basement yesterday. I don't think it was really a tarantula, but it was a massive spider, and that to me also feels a little bit like autumn. But yeah, that reconnection with nature can really help you to feel calmer. Focus on real connection with people, talk to friends face to face, share a meal or do something together. So to sum it up, life has become more complicated over time, but our health actually thrives on simplicity. So introduce it where possible. Eat simple, whole foods, move your body in natural ways, honor your body's need for good sleep, and create a space for calm and connection with your nearest and dearest. You don't have to live like a caveman to feel better, but by cutting through the noise and just focusing a little bit more on what really matters, that can make a difference. You're going to feel less overwhelmed, more energized, and more in control of your health. If you found this helpful, then give me a thumbs up or maybe even subscribe to my channel. And if you want to stick around, I am going to talk a little bit about my crafts that I'm into, as I always do at the end of these videos. If you're not interested, then obviously goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to set yourself one little action for this week that's going to make you healthier. What is the one thing that you can do this week? Maybe it was something I talked about today, maybe it's something completely different, but just once a week, week after week, do one thing that's gonna make you feel better, and then over time you're just going to feel better and better. Right, so if you're still around, then you probably want to hear about my crafting, and this week I have been doing quite a bit of frogging. Actually not frogging, more tinking. So tinking stands for knitting backwards. Do you get it? Tink, knit. And with my Kettle Cove vest top, I had to undo all the collar work and start again. because I detected a mistake and it just annoyed me. I did think about just ignoring it, and I thought, well, who would even notice it if you wear the top and there's a little mistake in the pattern? But I could see it and I didn't like it, so I tinked it. Did I actually? This one I probably frogged because it was quite a lot, so tinking would take forever. So yes, I literally frogged it, pulled it out right to the bottom of the hem, and started again. I think it's because I'm not really used to doing colour work that I'm not paying enough attention, and I really need to pay attention to, of course, the pattern. And I think the biggest lesson I've learned is to get into the habit of regularly going back to see that what I've done is correct, because then I spot it on time and I don't have to take the whole frog the whole freaking thing and just go back to where I made the mistake. Yeah, often you do find out at the end of a row, because then it doesn't, you know, the ending doesn't add up with the pattern. But in this case I didn't, and it still was a big mistake. So back on track again. I am enjoying it. I think it's just going to take a little bit longer than maybe I thought. I thought it might go quite quickly because it is not very fine yarn. So, but it's okay. There's no rush. I think vest tops are very versatile and you can wear them a long time in the year. It's not just for winter. So let's see how we go with that. Then I have been very much enjoying my Guatemala. Even there, I still catch myself not paying attention to the pattern and accidentally taking the instructions for the smaller version of the shawl instead of the larger. So yeah, I had to I didn't make a mistake, but actually I thought I went too far when in fact I hadn't, because I looked at the instructions for the smaller one. So then I tinked and then realized I had to just knit it back again because I hadn't gone too far. But doesn't matter, I'm enjoying it, I'm very happy with it. So I've done part 1 and part 2. So this is part 1, the green and the white stripe, and then part 2 is, it is very bright, isn't it? It's very circusy. But I like it. It's part 2 is the orange and the yellow, and the yellow does actually have a bit of orange in it as well. And I've just started part 3, where you bring together part 1 and part 2, and for that I'm using that multicolored tight yarn. So these are the colors. I'm actually, yeah, happy with it. It's not as crazy as I thought it would be. I think the sort of the multicoloring of this tones it down a little bit. It's not super crazy. So cracking on with that, super happy with that. Then like I said last week, I was going to have a go at the little clutch bag. It's a pattern by Petite Knit and it's called the Teddy Clutch, and it's knitted with this Serda Snuggly, which is sort of teddy yarn. I'd never used it before, and to start with I wasn't sure whether I was actually going to continue. It takes some getting used to because you're literally stabbing in the dark. You cannot see the stitches because it is so incredibly fluffy that you can't, well, barely distinguish a stitch, which is sort of good because you wouldn't really notice a mistake, but I don't really know what mistake you can make apart from it's very straightforward. The bottom bit is back and forth with knitting and what is it? I've lost the word. Knitting. I can only think of it in Dutch now. But I'm not even going to talk about the pattern because it is a paid for pattern. Quite pleased with it. So you can see that this is turning into a little shape of a little clutch bag. It is a smaller version in the pattern. I will link the pattern below. And it feels super soft, of course, being teddy. It's going to be lined, so that will give it a little bit of more shape. Actually quite pleased with it. Yeah, I can see myself strutting around with this in the winter. And now I'm a little bit used to knitting with the with this yarn. I don't mind it so much anymore. So it's just now straight knitting in around. Purl, that's the word I was looking for. So to start with, there's a bit of knit and purl, but you probably wouldn't even notice if you knitted or purled because it's so fluffy. So that's basically all I have been doing with my arts and crafts this week. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm tempted to cast on my lento in the brown yarn. Actually, I've got it here. I bought this yarn a while ago in the Manchester wool and yarn shop called Kenigser, and I want to do a lento. I'm just really looking forward to some simple one string of yarn knitting, and the lento is great for that. But maybe that's just too much on the needles. Maybe when I finish the little bag, then I might do that. So that was it. I hope you enjoyed that. I will stick on a little bit of footage of this week again. Nothing super crazy, but it was a good week. Busy with work. The weather's been still very summery. Pretty hot today, but yeah, you do feel autumn creeping in now. The days are getting a little bit shorter, and I am excited for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you again next week. Lots of love. Bye.